humans out there on YouTube. So, welcome back to my channel. My name is Nadine Lee. I am a teacher of the feminine tantric arts and author of the best-selling book called Sex Priestess. And in today's video, we are going to be talking about how to lead from your feminine in your relationship dynamics with men, and specifically how to inspire a man's devotion versus demanding it or feeling entitled to it. So, this is something that a lot of people, a lot of women come to me about is, desiring so much more of his devotion, desiring so much more of his presence, and the provision beyond just the financial. And so this is where female leadership really comes in, and understanding these principles of the tantric kind of philosophy in a way, which is the feminine being that portal to a man's and woman's, but the feminine as the principle being a portal into one's ultimate liberation. And this is something that's not really talked about so much in a lot of relationship coaching spaces and polarity spaces specifically. What we see in a lot of polarity spaces is all about woman submitting, surrendering to the man. And while there is some truth in this and some power in woman surrendering to the masculine, I feel that can't happen unless the masculine has first surrendered to the feminine. And also the woman has surrendered to her feminine energy and understands her potency of her feminine energy in herself. And also that she has done a lot of purification around her ego. So it's not necessarily a man submitting or surrendering to her as the woman. It's surrendering to the feminine principle that moves through her, because she is the woman. She has the womb. She has that access to that void space. And in tantric practice, I remember being in India and doing the goddess pujas every week at this ashram that I was living in for 6 months. And it was all about this. It was goddess puja, which means, worship of the goddess. And we would come into this sacred ritual space every Monday night, and the woman would go into that transpersonal realm of embodying Shakti, like the 1,000 faces of Shakti. She was that living vessel of Shakti. And the men would offer puja to her, so like devotion. So, there would be like offerings of flowers, of candles, of incense, of fruits, and obviously of his presence, and that kind of like devotional attitude towards the feminine. And this was a symbol. It wasn't about him worshipping the woman like in her ego and personality in front of him. It was worshipping the Shakti, the feminine principle that moves through woman. And through this is in tantric practice, this is actually how one liberates truly, is surrendering to Shakti. This is what we're doing in all these true tantric practice, is surrender to Shakti, the Kundalini life force. And when we have that attitude of surrender to her, she moves through us, purifies us, awakens us, and merges with Shiva. And this is the ultimate liberation. And so this is something that is missing in a lot of modern day relating, is the understanding that woman is the vessel of Shakti. And if a man wants to reach his fullest potential, he really has to come in with this attitude of devotion. And obviously, he's got to be discerning of choosing a woman who truly does understand this as well and embodies this, the higher aspects, not just like the egoic aspects of you're going to worship me and um, feed my ego as woman, but like she understands that this is something greater. And so this is really a key principle to understand first and foremost. So when he surrenders to Shakti, he amplifies his masculinity. This is not a sign of weakness that so many modern men, especially in the West, have around surrendering to a woman. There's almost like this attitude in a lot of Western culture around like, it's this like misogynistic machoism. Like if I put myself like underneath her and like revere and exalt her as the feminine, that it makes me weaker as a man. And this is like the opposite. It actually makes you weaker as a man if you don't do this, because you're never going to reach that access point of what your soul is craving for if you don't exalt the feminine principle. And this looks like, coming into a woman's space with reverence and devotion, that attitude of that. It's not about being a pushover. It's not about being a spineless man. It's like, wow, in awe of the feminine. How can I support you? How can I, provide for you? So there's that piece. And then, it's as woman, it's not about, so as woman, it's like understanding this, understanding what I'm talking about and embodying that. And that's a journey, because you've got to go through, as I said, like these ego purifications and just dissolution of the ego and a lot of your inner child stuff. So often women we can see in the spiritual community can take this and like, um, use it as a way to just get the needs of their inner child, their little girl that were not met by daddy. So it's like entitlement energy, like, oh, well, I'm a goddess, so you need to give me everything I want, and throw tantrums if you don't get what you want. Like, that's not what I'm talking about. And that's the difference between entitled to his devotion or just inspiring and evoking it. And the way that you evoke this and inspire this through for the men in your life and your man ultimately is by embodying this frequency of your feminine, holding your posture in your womb space, like holding the energy in that vortex of magnetism, which is the womb, not moving from that center, like not chasing, moving out, pushing out, trying to prove yourself. If you're going around like, oh, I'm entitled to be worshipped because I'm a woman, like that's pushing energy out and it's actually repelling. Whereas there's a difference between just knowing that and holding that energy. And men respond to this like they can feel it. Like it's so, so subtle yet so obvious. They know when they have to come to a woman with their best behavior and in devotion and with that kind of like reverence standing at her at the temple door, versus, oh, I know I can just get away with anything with her because she doesn't understand the power of her feminine yet. So I can just kind of, get away with anything and not really have to show up with gifts or devotion or my full presence, So woman has to really embody this. As I said, this is a journey. This is a huge part of what my work is all about, is like helping women remember that you are the embodiment of Shakti. You are a living, breathing goddess. And not in this like new age, like you're a goddess, babe, like you deserve it all, queen, like entitled way. I'm not speaking to that at all. It's remembering your inherent value, remembering your worth, like beyond remembering that you are the vessel of creation. You are the mother, and that is a powerful force that is the most powerful force on this planet, really. It's what birthed every single man that you interact with and births realities and enables us to be a bridge between the seen and the unseen worlds. So it's an attitude of holding this frequency within you. And when men come into your field that don't bring devotion, it's not about getting angry or shaming them. It's seeing, okay, he's uninitiated. This man is uninitiated yet. It's giving him an invitation to step into his like highest. And if he doesn't step into that, then it's water for ducks back. It's just like, okay, like I can see where you're at and moving on. There's no need to like try and prove why he needs to show up this way. This embodied queen energy is really holding it so powerfully, and your frequency, your presence is an invitation. And if those don't step up into that space to meet you where you want to be met, then you just let them go and trust their divine timing of when they're ready. They'll come back to you, or they'll come back to another woman. But there's no point in like wasting energy or getting angry or like shaming or trying to prove anything to men who don't accept the invitation to step into devotion to your feminine, to the feminine. So this is something that obviously we explore so deeply in all of my work. And specifically in my offering Initiating Him, this was birthed last year in December. It's like 4 months ago, 5 months ago. And this was really the essence of this course, was initiating him into his greatness. Like holding your deepest knowing of feminine power, and that being an initiation, of him into truth. Learning the art of seduction, like the true art of seduction. And the art of seduction is not just about, physical, like getting a man to be like just to lust over you. The true art of seduction is really seducing a man into his greatness, into his, like, through your beauty, through your radiance and magnetism, seducing him into a moment of literal awakening through presence, like him being fully in awe and stopped in his tracks, that he literally has a moment of enlightenment. Like, this is a gift that the feminine has so much power over. And this is the true art of seduction, is like moving erotic energy, but knowing how to move it through your body and seduce a man into taking it beyond lust, beyond primal. And of course, we meet there. That's where we can kind of like play in. But the seductress in her full power knows how to move that energy up into the heart, up into the higher centers. And this is a big piece that we explore in Initiating Him. So this is a course you want to check out. I'm going to link it down below if you want to enroll in that today. And I feel this is complete for now, but I just wanted to really clarify this distinction between, how to initiate, how to evoke his worship versus demand it or feel entitled to it. So I hope this has been helpful for you. Feel free to leave a comment if this has helped. I'd love to hear how this has landed for you. Feel free to share it. Feel free to subscribe to my channel. And I would love to see some more of you inside of my Initiating Him course. Sending you so much love, and see you next week.